Okay. So solving equations with the variables on both sides. So, and let's go ahead and jump right into the example. So basically, this is something we should know how to do, but let's go ahead and 7n minus 5 is equal to 10n plus 13, okay? So in this instance, I have a variable n on this side, and I have it on this side, okay? So we want to get rid of the variables, or we want to put all the variables on one side. So I want to get rid of either this guy, or I want to get rid of this guy. Okay, so I have a choice here. Okay, I can get rid of the 10n, and the way I would do that is subtract 10n from both sides. Or I can get rid of the 7n, I would subtract 7n from both sides, okay? The preferred method here is to subtract the smaller one, and that is because if I subtract the 10n here, what do I get? I have 7n and subtract 10n, then I'll end up with negative 3n. So I end up with a negative number, right? Whereas if I take the 7n away from both sides, I subtract 7n from here, and I subtract 7n here, I have 10n subtract 7n, which means that I'll end up with positive 3n. And I would rather deal with a positive number, right? So let's go ahead and subtract 7n from both sides. This guy goes away, I end up with negative 5. As we said before, I have 10n minus 7n, so that would be 3n plus 13. Okay, now I want to isolate the n by itself, so I have to get rid of the 13 first. So I'm going to subtract 13 on both sides. So this guy now goes away, I end up with 3n. I have negative 5n minus 13. They're both negative, so I'm going to end up with a negative number. 5, 13, so it's going to be 18. Okay, now I just simply divide everything by 3. The 3's cancel out. All I have left here is n. And on this side, I'm going to have negative divided by a positive. Negative divided by a positive is a negative number. So you have negative, and 3 goes into 18 6 times. So your answer is n is equal to negative 6. N is equal to negative 6. Okay? So it's things that we all know, okay? So the mechanics, we've already known, we're just putting them all together, okay? And like I said, the first time, again, you have different ways to do it, right? But you end up the same thing. Okay, because once you subtract this out, then you have what you have been dealing with. You have a variable, and you have two numbers, right? Okay. Example number 2. Example number 2. How many students must go on the Spanish club trip to the Mexican restaurant as described in page 131 in order for the cost per student to be $10. So let's go back to page 131. Page 131, the Spanish club is arranging a trip to a Mexican restaurant in a nearby city. Those who go must share the $60 cost of using a school bus for the trip. The restaurant's buffet costs $5 per person. How many students must sign up for this trip in order to limit the cost to $10 per student? Okay, so example number 2. So you have $60 in the bus costs $60, right? So if I had X number of students, okay? And what do we also have? The buffet costs $5 per person. $5 per person for the buffet. Okay? So how are we going to go and do this? So you want everybody to be paying $10 per person, right? Everybody needs to pay $10. So how much money am I going to have all together? If I had X students and each student's going to pay $10, I'm going to have 10 times X, right? This is the total amount of money that I'm going to collect from the students, okay? So I also have to pay for the bus and I have to pay for the buffet, right? So the bus is going to cost $60 no matter what. Okay, no matter how many students there are, right? And then the buffet is going to cost $5 per person. So it's going to be 5 times X. 5 times X. Okay? And then you just need to solve for X here. Again, the hard part is setting this up. This is the hard part of this equation. I mean, this example. Okay, setting this up is the hard part. Okay? You have to realize that if I brought X number of students, right, and I collected $10 each from these guys, I'm going to end up with 10 times X, because if I had 2 people, it would be 20. If I had 3 people, it would be 30. If I had 8 people, it would be 80, right? So I have 10 times X number of students, right? And this money is going to be spent for $60 on the bus, okay? And then $5 per person at the buffet. So for the buffet, it's going to cost how much? If I had 2 people, it would be 10, 3 people would be 15, 10 people would be 50, and so on and so forth, right? So it's going to be 5 times the number of people, right? So let's go ahead and now solve this, okay? So this is how you go. Let's go ahead and solve this. So we want to get rid of the X's on this side or this side, either one, right? Doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and subtract 5X from both sides. If I subtract 5X from both sides, on this side the 5X goes away. I end up with 60. Over here I have 10X, subtract by 5X. So I had 10, I subtract 5 away. I'm going to end up with 5X. So here I just simply divide by 5 on both sides. The 5 goes away, I end up with X is equal to 60 divided by 5, which is 12. Okay, so the answer is going to be 12 here. Okay. So how would I check this? Then let's make sure that this is the correct answer, okay? If this is the correct answer, let's go ahead and check it. So I would have what? The original equation was 10X is equal to 60 plus 5X. This was the original equation here, right? So X is going to be, I found that X is going to be equal to 12. So let's see if this works. 10 times 12 is equal to 120, right? On this side, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 60 plus 5 times 12. 5 times 12 is 60. 60 plus 60 is 120. So both sides are 120. So I must have the correct answer. Okay. Okay, let's do example number 3. In example number 3, we have 2x plus 1 is equal to 10x. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the parentheses away, remove the parentheses. So I'm going to have to distribute the 5 out. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 1 is 5. It's equal to 10x. So I subtract 10x from both sides. That goes away. I end up with 5. 10x minus 10x is equal to 0. So I come up with this strange thing here. I say 5 is going to be equal to 0. Okay, when does this happen? This never happens, right? This is not allowed to happen. 5 is never going to be equal to 0, right? In other words, there are no solutions to this equation. Okay, there's no solution. There's no x that satisfies this equation. Okay, because in the end, you end up with 5 is equal to 0. Okay, and obviously that is not true. Okay, so sometimes they're going to give you or trick you and give you this type of equation. Okay, so keep your eyes out for that. Example number 4. Example number 4, solve the equation when I'm using all solutions. I have 6x plus 2 is equal to 2 times 3x plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this out. So I'm going to get 2 times 3x. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so this is kind of odd. So I end up with 6x plus 2 is equal to 6x plus 2. Well, of course, 6x plus 2 is always going to be equal to 6 plus 2. They're the same thing, right? So if I subtract 6x on both sides, this goes away, I have 2. This goes away, I have 2. So 2 is equal to 2. When does this happen? This happens every single time, all the time. In other words, it doesn't matter what x is, it works all the time. Okay, so on this one, you're going to have what? You're going to have infinitely many solutions. Okay? That's what we call, that's what we call it in math talk. But what do you guys learn this as? Yeah, it says every number as a solution. So in other words, the answer is every number. Every number or any number for that matter, right? Same thing, okay? Every number is a solution. Okay, so this is the opposite of the one we did before where we had no solutions, right? Okay, last but not least, let's go to example number 5. In example number 5, I have find the perimeter of the square. So find the perimeter of the square. So this is a square, which means that all 4 sides are equal. But it's telling me that this is going to be 2x, and this side is x plus 4. X plus 4, but what we do know, since it's a square, this side and this side have to be the same length. In other words, 2x is equal to x plus 4. Okay? What are we looking for? The answer asks, what is the perimeter of the square? For in order to know the perimeter of the square, I definitely need to know what x is. Okay? So I'm going to solve x by this equation, though. So I'm going to subtract x on both sides. So this x and this x goes away. I end up with 4 on this side. And on this side, I have x, 2x. I subtract one of the x's away. I end up with only 1x, so x is equal to 4, okay? Which means that one side here is going to be equal to 2x. So 2 times 4 is 8, or x plus 4 is 4 plus 4, which is 8, which is the same thing. So the perimeter is going to be what? 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, right? So I have 4 8s. So the perimeter is going to be equal to 32. Okay? So kind of a tricky question because it has you solve for x, but in the end, it asks you for the perimeter. Okay, just because you solve the x doesn't mean you've stated what the perimeter is. So you have to go back and calculate the perimeter. Okay, and that would be calculated to be 32. Okay. All right, so that's it for 3.3. Are there any questions on this? Any questions that I can answer? All right. If not, let's go ahead and move on to the homework. Your homework for 3.3 is here we go. 21, 12, 33, 36, 33, 6, 7. So we have 40 questions. Okay, so AJ and Phelan, I do not have your homework for 3.1 and 3.2.
I thought I turned in 3.2. Do you not get it?
I did not get either one of them. Let me check.
Okay.
No, I did not get neither one of them. So I'm missing 3.1 and 3.2 from both of you.
Okay. I'll turn it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get that in too.
Huh?
I'll get that in too. That's my bad. I thought I
Okay.
turned
Get it in. Get it in.
All right.
Mr. On,
Mhm.
I'm a little bit confused about number 8.
Number 8. Okay, let's go over number 8 on page 133, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Number 8. We have negative 5a plus 6 is equal to 6a minus 38. Okay. So here we have minus 5a on one side and we have 6a on the other side. Okay. So I want to get rid of this guy, right? Because I don't want to deal with the negatives, right? I don't want to get, so let's go ahead and add 5a on both sides. If I add 5a on both sides, the 5a's go away. I end up with 6 here. Over here, I have 6a plus 5a is 11a minus 38. Okay, we follow so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have the 11a. So I want to isolate the 11a. I want the 11a by itself. So I need to get rid of the negative 38. So I'm going to add 38 on both sides. I'm going to add 38 on both sides. This guy and this guy goes away. I have 11a is equal to 6 plus 38, which is 44. And you can take it from here, right?
Yeah.
Just divide both sides by 11, okay? Are we good?
Yes. I just forgot you could add.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. On,
Huh?
is this going to be our only homework?
No. I have another set of homework going out.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to disappoint you guys.
Will this homework be due on Wednesday?
Will this homework be due on Wednesday? No, because we do not have a class on Wednesday. So this homework will be due on Sunday night.
Wait, we don't have class Wednesday?
Huh?
I thought we had class on Wednesdays. This one.
Oh, I can make that happen if you want to have a class.
No, no.
That's okay. You'll pass on that option.
Yeah.
Okay, Wednesday's a half day, all right, and it's more or less a work day for you guys and us. So we'll be doing some grading, and you guys will be doing some homework, I hope. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break and we'll reconvene in 5 minutes. All right, go ahead and log back on if you're back, please. Log back on so that I can see your handsome faces. Okay, so for the second part, your homework will be the mid-chapter quiz that is on page 139. And this will serve as our 3.1 to 3.3 quiz review. Okay, this will be under 3.1, 3.3 quiz review, okay? So this will be your second homework, all right? First one was what you were working on earlier. Let me go ahead and, so you can go ahead and start working on that one too.
Mr. On, what did you want to?
Huh? Did you have a question? Did I answer your question, Elijah, or was that you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, your microphone cut out for me. I'm having some internet problems.
Okay. So what happened? What was the question?
For the questions that don't have an answer to them, what are we supposed to write?
That'd be no solution.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Rose?
Yes.
Okay, the chapter 2 test that you turn in. I have 1 through 6, and then I see 10 through 17. And then I'm looking for 18, and 18 through 26, I guess. And I don't have that. I have instead a lesson 2.5 something or another here. So I need 18 through 27. For your chapter 2 test. Do you see what I'm saying there, Rose?
I think so, yeah.
Do you have 18 through 27 of the test?
Yeah. Okay.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you want to send that to me?
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
I'm also missing 35 through 43.
Okay.
Mr. On,
Yes.
could you show me how to do 11 again?
11. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, so let's do 11.
Yeah.
So we have 25u plus 74 is equal to 23u plus 92. Okay, so we have 25u and we have 23u here, okay? So let's go ahead and subtract 23u from both sides. That'll move all of the variables to one side, right? So 23u and 23u cancels out. I have 92. 25u minus 23u is 2u. And then we have plus 74. Okay, so I want to further isolate the two u's. So I want to get rid of the 74. So I'm going to subtract 74 from both sides. This 74 and this 74 goes away. I end up with 2u. 92 minus 74 is 18. So divide both sides by 2. I get u is equal to 9. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Mr. On.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused with 29.
29. Okay, let's take a look. $29. Find the perimeter of the square. Okay, again, this is similar to what we looked at in that one example. So it's a square, which means that all sides are the same. Okay, which means that what it shows you that this is 7x plus 30, and the other side is 12x, which means that these two have to be the same. Okay, and that is the clue that allows you to solve for x, because you need x to find out what these actually are, right? This is just an expression as it is. But once you find out what x is, it becomes a true number, right? So I can say that 12x is equal to 7x plus 30. Okay, so I have to solve for x here. So I want to put, so I have 12x is here and 7x is here. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 7x's from both sides. So I'm going to get 12x minus 7x, which is 5x. 7x and 7x cancels out, is equal to 30. So I divide both sides by 5 now. This 5 goes away. I get x is equal to 30 divided by 5, which is 6. So I put this now in here, since this is 12x. If when x is equal to 6, I get 12 times 6, which is 72, which means that all of these sides are going to be 72. So you can have 72 plus 72 plus 72 plus 72. So that's going to be 288 if I add them all together. Okay?
Mr. On, it's 11:45. Can we leave?
Okay, yeah, you guys can go ahead and leave. You understand what the 288?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye, Mr.
Bye.
On.
Have a good one.